Well, another live coding session from GameChanger in collaboration with Gimbal Labs. So yeah, I've been doing payments for a while, and yeah, I've been doing that in combination with the GameChanger wallet. And well, we made a small demo for this. Well, you can see it on the screen. We've spoken with Nick, and he has a coffee shop, so we took the colors to be a little bit on theme, but maybe we can, with the help of Nick, we can make it like a branded version. We could do that. So this is a web page, and it is inside a code pen. This is the address of it. I'm not sure how to share it right now. I do not know exactly where I can find the comment section at the moment when I'm sharing my screen, so I'm not sure.
Chat maybe? In more chat?
More. Oh, top one. Yeah, got it. So I've shared the code pen. Everybody can use it. The code is open for everybody to change, copy. It's very simple, really. So this is, if I scroll this down, this is all real-time change. If you change something here, it changes immediately on this page. So it's a index.html, a CSS file, and index.js. You combine these three files, you can get this page below, and it will generate a QR code. Right now, this QR code is just encoding some text. So let's get some coffee is the text at the moment. But if you change the value here to, I don't know, something that costs a cup of coffee, you can generate the QR code. So how this works is you got the, this is the HTML. So you've got the H1, H2, very normal HTML code. And here is the QR code div. This code gets replaced or filled in with the QR code. Well, below that is an input field, of course, for your values. This is ADA, but with GameChanger you can add other policy IDs as well. So you can add your own, or you can add maybe you can add a coin you want for you have minted yourself, or you can use like IUSD or JET for a coin, but you could easily make that yourself if you modify this code here a little bit. Below that is the button, and it calls make GScript, and that is a function, well, actually the only function which makes this all happen. And of course, this QR code, the customer wants to send you the shop money. So
hey Martin,
yeah,
before we keep going, do you mind maximizing that window on the screen so we can see the code? It's a little bit. Yeah, that looks good.
Is it better? Should I increase the size?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a tick. Oh, that was better. Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah. Maybe a bit more and it's perfect.
It's hard to judge. Yeah. Sorry, I like big screens. Yeah, we were here. Well, this is like a default, but you could, of course, make this more complicated by saving it to the browser cache. the store can change this wallet address, and this will get encoded into this QR code, and the QR code will just basically say send money to this address. So if a customer has the GameChanger wallet, they can scan this QR code, and the GameChanger wallet will automatically import basically this wallet address and the value, and you can then preview this and send you when he's satisfied with the transaction, send you this money. We can look a little bit more. Of course, this is CSS. It's just how you make it. So I don't think we need to go a little further in that. It's, you can change the colors, anything you want with a normal web page. Here in the make G script, this is where the QR code, the transactions get built. So you can go into the GameChanger playground. This pre-production, I'm using the testnet. And this is basically a simple transaction. And that is what we are using also here. So this is in the playground, you can see all kinds of examples of how you could build your script. It's a JSON script. And it's
Martin?
almost self-explanatory, but yes.
Martin, sorry for interrupt you again. How big is your screen? Because
Oh,
it's
here we go again.
it's super tiny. Each character
Better,
is a pixel
better.
in my screen.
How big is my screen? It's I think 32-inch.
Wall. Do you have a wall as a screen? Okay, thanks. Continue. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I will try to remember. But I was sure the zoom level would get copied to the next page, but I kind of forgot. So what we're going to do is we want to make this script, only we want to change the quantity and we want to change this key into the address of your shop. So that is what we're going to do in this script. So of course, first we have to get these values from the elements. So you get these values by ID. So you have the amount input and this is the wallet input. Basically, that's a name for these boxes for input. We get the amount. Of course, we have to do it times 1,000,000 because it's Lovelace, the script. Let's have a look. So this is the boilerplate, like this is the code you're going to build. You have the transaction, a title. If you have the script yourself, you can name this after your shop. It is the title the customer gets shown when he imports the transaction. So if it's your shop, they're more sure that they have the good one. We have this amount, of course, which we made here, times 1,000,000. It has to be a string, so we make a string of it. And then here is the policy ID and the asset name. It's both ADA in this case, but you could add more because it's a list. You can add to this list as much as you want. And then after that, we're going to do JSON URL LZ2 compression. This is where you make actually the link. So this QR code is actually an encoded link. And here you can see we're going to the pre-production wallet. Oh, it's the same I opened here. So this QR code is, if you open it in your phone, you will get redirected to this page. And it is adding the G script on the end. So this is just an encoded value of what we have just built, this code. And here we have some options. We decide how big this QR code is going to be, and the text. We remove the previous QR code, and then we replace it with the new one. Is everything clear so far? This is the basics of it.
One question, the QR code, what library is used to generate it? Is it built into the JavaScript, or are you using the library?
Yeah, that's a little different here. Oh, it's not showing. Because I think I am not referencing the script here, but somehow I'm not sure exactly how this code pen works in this case, but it works for me. But in reality, you have to add. This is what I did. Easy QR code. This is the library you need to use. This is the one that works the best with GameChanger. So we before we previous week we made this all together, and this is also the we tried some other ones, but this is the most reliable for GameChanger, and it's also the one GameChanger uses. So I think that is the recommendation. It's a little strange that you don't need to import it to, but I don't know, maybe it gets added in the background. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's can you hear me?
So yeah, it's never nice when coding when it's magic. It's like it shouldn't be magic.
I guess in settings.
Sorry?
Maybe in settings, Martin, it's listed. There, the second one, that one, yeah.
Oh, this one.
QR code.
But then it would be using a different one than we were. It's kind of weird that it's I use the syntax of easy QR code. So here it would be QR code JS, the normal one. So
Okay, then we have to check that.
I think we have to.
Yeah, this looks really cool. So how does the so basically it works where it makes a QR code that has a link to GameChanger wallet?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's hard to do because I don't have I cannot show the phone on my screen share, of course, but I can save this image to show you what happens. And I have this probably this is too small again, huh? Can make it bigger, right? There was a function where you can make this bigger. Not sure. We have to make do. And then the bar image. And where did I save this again?
Martin?
Yeah.
Keep on with that idea, but just in cases, if you click on Smart Scan, sorry, I believe you still have the option to upload the QR
yeah.
file.
Yeah, but I've also shown here that with this Z-bar
Yeah.
image, you get this link. And that's the same
true.
thing I can do if I paste this link. Uh-oh. Did I do it wrong? I'm not sure.
The 2 underscores instead of 1.
In what area?
The address.
Like here? Don't think so. I can check the QR code.
But maybe retry because that compression algorithm that was on V1 on the first version of GameChanger, now we are using another one. It was maybe a bit. Sometimes that library does weird stuff, but maybe it's wrong. I don't know, the coding or something.
Let me check.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, this is I picked the wrong one. QR code.png. Oh, it's because of all the different ones. I was confused. Copy the link. And we try again. Okay, so here we go. Well, we've just imported this data, and then oh, is this? Oh, oops. Preview. I'm now in another wallet. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this I'm in the wrong wallet now. Can I switch? Change current wallet. Oh, yeah. Oops. Yeah, this is the wallet where it has money. Let's do this again. Preview. You can also see that this wallet is here. And yeah, here the transaction gets imported. And well, you can see that we filled in this 15 ADA, and you can see the transaction fee here. And we can execute it. Which after 20 seconds, it would be finished. Do you understand how it works now, Nick?
Yeah, I think so. So the idea is, so like from the customer perspective, they would have to have a GameChanger wallet,
Yeah.
with, you know, either ADA or IUSD or whatever. And then basically, we would, as the shop, have like some type of like an iPad or something like that that would be able to, you know, where we generate that QR code and then just present that to the customer.
Yeah.
And then they would just scan it, and that's pretty much it.
It could even be a folder on this iPad where you can just open a web browser, and you could modify this on this device yourself. You don't really need a lot of infrastructure. You don't need to host it outside of this computer. really. And the nice thing is that you can change the if you have like a certain kind of colors, you can change the branding to what you like, and you can also change easily what you're sending. So yeah, you could add you could add IUSD to this, and you could just fill it, add more fields. So you could also say, well, maybe customers want to pay in ADA or in IUSD. They could choose, and you could just manually enter those values.
Right.
And I want to also show you a cool feature which would make this a whole thing you could actually use to onboard your customers. Because GameChanger, and I had a quick setup here to make this I set up as a gift wallet. And the gift wallet basically is is like a mnemonic key and a password encrypted into the same QR code. So it's a different kind of QR code, but it's one you can use to log into the GameChanger wallet. And you could, for example, preload it with ADA or IUSD. And if you make a printout of this QR code, you could basically sell it as a onboarding wallet to your customers. So you could maybe put $10 of ADA on it, and you can sell it for 12.
Oh, right. So that makes sense because that's one of the things, like from a user perspective, I've always kind of wondered about is like, well, how do you get someone who doesn't know anything about, blockchain and Cardano, like to be able to do transactions, when you need ADA in a wallet already in order to actually execute transactions. So like, yeah, that's kind of cool. Like the whole idea of preloading it where they don't even need to know it's already on there. And, yeah.
For this, you can make a profit, and also you remove the chicken and egg problem, where they say, "Yeah, I don't have it. Where do you need to go?" Yeah, I have this 10-step plan for you. You go to Binance, which is now in conflict with the US government.
Step 12.
And you couple with your bank account. And sometimes bank won't send money there, but yeah, well, you will lose your customers there. That won't work.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So
the gift wallet, that's just something that you can actually like generate in GameChanger.
Yeah, I'm not going there. So
okay, cool.
Have this create wallet to the right. Here's where you select which wallet you're in. So that's why now it's empty, this wallet. But yeah, this is I had the other wallet where there's some test coin on it. I can change. Yeah. Here you can change to my default wallet or to this this gift wallet I made, and you can give it a name already. So you could make it an advertisement, or you could make something that is your shop name. Here I'm going to create this gift wallet, and it's an express wallet. Only you have to go into the advanced features and say it's a gift wallet. Because what I did is I said here, I'm not sure what your coffee shop name is, but I don't know if you want to share it, but you don't have to. So this is the unique name of the wallet. We make it maybe number 2, and we create this mnemonic key, which is in this case 10 mnemonic key, 10 words, and yeah, I made this password already. I guess it was coffee shop. I did it wrong. Passwords, great. Ah, good. In this case, maybe you shouldn't do this like this because it's not secure if you have like personnel or stuff, because it is of course something that holds value, but you could make it a hint, or you could supply it separately. And this creates this QR code. And I can save this QR code. Gift wallet. And then I could do my own stuff with it or print it. And so this is something you could give to your customers as a QR code, including you should add the hint to it.
Right, so
okay,
that-
Adriano, I thought the QR code hint was on this paper.
When you decode it, it appears on the software on the wallet.
Oh, sorry.
And that's kind of maybe better, because if you're going
Yeah.
to be putting passwords in plain text there, it's, you know, hey, for people that already owns, for example, thermal printers, you can write directly print in thermal paper. It works. Martin has done it already, even with the totem. He can talk a lot about that.
Why am I getting permission denied?
That's a silly, dialogue that appears sometimes regarding the opening the webcam.
Oh, it's not
Don't
related.
give much. Yeah, don't give much attention. Besides, it's huge. But, sorry.
So we can continue. Okay. And you agree. So in this case, I imported via the Smart Scan feature. I imported this QR code.
Mhm.
And this is of course a browser, and you can use this also on your phone. So you can also press the same button. In this case, I'm opening a file, but yeah, the permission is now probably because I'm using Zoom that it's not working that way, but okay. On your phone, it should work. You can just give your customers this paper. They can go to the GameChanger website, and then they press the Smart Scan button, or they can even use the QR code scanner in your photograph app. It works also.
Oh, okay. So they wouldn't actually even need to go to the website. They could just pull up their camera and just scan it.
Yeah,
and
yeah, scan
it'll
it
go right
and
there.
yeah. This way we try to make it as easy as possible with a zero friction onboarding of users. And yeah, it's a complete solution really.
Yeah, that's super cool.
We can try to. Do we have some extra time? We can try to add extra features or stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm today's my day off, so I'm just hanging around the house today. So
This
Martin.
it's until 6 o'clock, right? Or for me, it's at 6 o'clock. I think usually.
Yeah, we have like 50 minutes left, I guess.
Okay. So I'm
Martin.
very fast.
Yes.
I'm way too
Martin.
fast.
I have two questions.
Okay.
What if Nick wants to print these QR codes instead of using a tablet? What if he wants to print this QR code, for example, next to, I don't know, muffins or on a menu, you know? Is that possible, or we have to generate specific QR codes every time someone wants to charge? And the other question is, maybe metadata can help us here. Maybe we can generate orders out of these same transactions, like you have the transaction and you have the order for the kitchen, maybe with the details of what you are buying.
Oh, that you could add more stuff like that. Or we could add like a policy for IUSD as well.
Oh,
Should we add?
Really?
Do you want us to add an extra coin, or try to?
it'd be kind of cool. I mean, kind of. I was always thinking that one thing, for people that aren't involved in the crypto space, that kind of turns them off probably is just the volatility of, the price of different things. But maybe if it was denominated in something stable, like it would be more user friendly or something like that.
Yeah, of course, it's stability is relative because Adriano is from Argentina, and
Right.
there is no such stability there. So it can differ. So, but in our case, yeah, at the moment, it's not great. I think we add another input field here. So we had this ADA input field. And it gets side by side. So yeah, we need of course we need an extra input field so we can make it like 10 IUSD, for example. And then we can add the policy ID. But Adriano, do you know the policy ID out of your head? Of course. You work with this so much.
no, I'm not a computer. Wait, every time when you use the airdrop, you have your fake USD tokens. Maybe you can use
you can
those.
use the fake USD. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was fishing for your suggestion.
Okay, because I bet you have those there, or it's easy to have those. But
Yeah,
remember, those are minted out of the same user's keys. So the policy ID will change. It's better to, you can really show Nick how to be on his shoes regarding having the fake USDs and maybe send them.
Yeah. But this
like
is something I have in the wallet, so that's easy to use. But if you want to, I'm not sure if you're aware of how Cardano or what is the best way. Tap tools, maybe I like tap tools, so you can just search for your token you want to do IUSD.
Remember to maximize to make zoom.
Yeah. Maximize.
Yeah.
Why is it so small? Here we go. Better? Oh. Now it's kind of, whoa. I was going too fast there with zooming.
This mainnet you're checking use the policy.
That's true, but yeah, we're not going to use it. We're going to use the fake. I'm just showing you how to find the policy ID for people who maybe don't know how to get there.
Remember that on the wallet, you can copy paste the policy ID if you have the token already on your wallet. If Nick, for example, has a sample of a digit, for example, on his wallet, he can copy paste, or whomever is developing actually this.
Yeah, so there's like a Cardano scan button here. So you're at IUSD, and here's at the top. They bring you directly to IUSD, and then you can copy it here.
Right. So that just kind of tells you what token you're using.
Yeah, because ADA is of course very short, but this policy, the ID is a little longer. You can't use IUSD. Only ADA has a short policy ID. The rest all have like a hash key like system.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to copy this policy ID and then paste it here. Of course, this is the policy ID you want here, so I'm just going to add could I? Yeah. Let's see if this works its way. So here we go into the live coding part. It could go all wrong. It's already going to 2 pages. Oh no, in this case it's fake USD. Okay, this just so these are the outputs for the wallet, and I added an extra output. I also have to add a fake USD amount. Fake. I have to get this ID, and I added the input here. This is the new input. I have to change the ID as well. Class can be the same.
Martin?
Yes.
Are you leaving there the ADA because to show how you can charge with two different assets, or
Yeah, I'm just doing that to show that you could use all assets, really, 2 assets. But I can also change the asset, could also do that.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, just to clarify, because this is this is maybe the only thing that Cardano has that is very annoying for people. That is this minimum ADA value that you have to pay every time you send assets. The nice thing here on GameChanger is that you can forget about setting or calculating that.
That's true.
So if anyone here knows a bit about that topic, this setup that Martin has prepared there on the transaction is not mandatory. You can completely forget about setting the ADA amount, and GameChanger will calculate it automatically. Okay, so in this case, he is doing it because he's showing that you can do complex transactions like mixing assets. But yeah, you can just make a transaction, for example, here with fake USD and forget about the ADA.
That's cool because Babel fees are not yet here.
Yeah, we have to wait for the Babel fees. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
How about
So many features coming.
What about the time to live of a transactions? Because I really like the idea of Adriano to have like you can print and you put it to your merchandise. But it would be cool to have like a set date that transaction you pre-print is going to expire, so you could pre-generate a time to live, and then you can have like this inventory system, and that would be really handy for a merchant.
That's totally doable with the TTL feature. Yeah, you can make transactions expire, actually.
There is
Good idea.
I have seen the transactions with a TTL tag.
The NFTs demos has the TTL feature. They need that.
So, but this is just an interval.
That TTL is not an absolute value.
Yeah.
It's the interval. It's the time window from when you submit the transaction. So it's very handy in this case because when you are preparing your QR codes to be printed, upon that date, you will be adding this amount of seconds, okay, and that's the expiry of the QR code. I mean, wait, this is when the transaction is built. Okay, no, in this case, I'm sorry, I'm very sorry. In this case, it's not that simple. In version 2, you can actually do it 100%. Remember, just to clarify, this is with version 1, the one that is on production right now, but the beta, the version 2 of the wallet, is a year ahead of all what you're watching here. So there you can do actually what you want. But on version 1, not yet. Sorry.
This is in version 1 still relative, and in version 2 you can do absolute. Or so Adriano.
Yes, you can do even you can do relative also calculation on V2.
Yeah.
But you can also do absolute values there on V2. Here you have just relative from the time the transaction is getting built.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Until submit, and then, but usually in V1 it's the building and the transmitting and the submitting is all in one go. So yeah, maybe in this case not that useful, but could be all this cool stuff in the future. Oh my god, it's amazing. Okay, well, I added the stuff, and all I need to do is, this is the amount string, but I need to add a new one. Amount fake. And here I'm going to do that times 1,000,000 to get the Lovelace value. Or no, I don't need to do that here. Is fake USD is not in millions, or is it in millions?
No, because you don't have token registry access on pre-prod. Yeah. So you cannot define decimals. That's the right answer. So in pre-prod you won't be dealing with decimals there. On mainnet you will have to pay attention to that. Otherwise you will make a huge mistake. And another thing to keep in mind, this is a bit more advanced. For example, for a coffee shop, it's perfect, it's okay. But remember that it's the best way to deal with these numbers on blockchains is to use a special type called sometimes, for example, big number. And just keep that in mind. If you're dealing with big numbers, actually on the blockchain, use a specific type of numbers that is big numbers. But otherwise, it's okay for these small amounts. It's okay. Yeah, but just keep in mind that that tip
Because the
for
like
security.
the size of like Hosky token has a trillion tokens. It doesn't fit inside a JavaScript integer.
Yeah, and you need to use strings, actually, text to work with those numbers, and to actually to serialize those numbers. You need to use text strings. That's the difference.
Yeah,
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 you're right, Martin. That's a
yeah. But
right
I need.
example.
That's why I do the parse int, and because I get the value as a string, I think, or I make sure that it's a value I can calculate with.
But remember, if you were dealing with host case, that parse int will fail, or maybe if it does not fail,
Uh-oh. I think we lost Adriano, but that makes us have time.
is where you need to use.
Oh,
Yeah, but don't worry. For this case, it's okay. You're
Adriano,
dealing with small numbers.
Adriano, we lost you for a bit.
What,
Like
Martin?
5 seconds, we lost you.
Don't worry. I was saying that on this case, it's okay because you're dealing with small numbers. So don't worry.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
And there is a question. I mean, someone is raising.
Yeah, Mix.
Hey,
Hey, actually, I wanted to ask from Adriano about that TTL version 2. That can we extend that to mempool as well, like after submission? And if that transaction in mempool reach to a TTL level, it won't go from the mempool to the blockchain actually. So is it possible to extend that TTL after submission, like in this limbo space, like inside the mempool, before submitting, becoming to a block? Like there is this 20-second time for submitting to a block. Is it possible to extend that or no?
hey, hi there. So a long time, no, I was not talking to you guys. How are you? So nice question. But I mean, if I get it right, you want to have some sort of dynamic TTL, maybe, because you want to change somehow this value once it's on mempool. That's the thing, because if you were referring to that, that's not possible, because the minimum amount of information on the transaction body that you change will change completely the hash of the transaction. And if you change the hash of the transaction, all the witnesses, all the signatures will be invalidated. So you have to sign them again. This is how security works here on this.
But once we set a TTL, do we want to change it before submission? I mean, is there any like a countdown or something? I didn't get that. We will set a TTL, and we won't change it, right? Or it doesn't change during the transaction submission. But what I'm asking is, I mean, actually, what I'm wondering, that once we submit that transaction and everything is settled, determinist, nothing changed, but can we set a TTL for this transaction with this constant transaction hash inside the mempool? So for example, if something doesn't submit, like after 10 seconds or something, that transaction will fail. It won't go after mempool, so it won't submit. So I just wonder that, is it possible to put a TTL on a transaction after submission?
Okay.
And after submission, I mean, again, there is a space. And once we put the transaction, it will be on the mempool for a couple of seconds. At most, it would be 20 seconds, but much less would be there. And then it will be on a blockchain and it will be there forever. But I wonder, this TTL, do we have a tool or something to do that?
I guess no. I mean, the issue is that when you build the transaction, it's frozen in time. So the most quickly you submit the transaction, and you make it reach the mempool is where, as soon as it gets on the mempool means that it got validated, as far as I know. So this means that from that time, that transaction has to be valid prior to getting to the mempool. That means that you are with a valid time window there, dealing within the time window that is specified for the transaction. There, it's the time is running from that event when it's validated or gets into the mempool. Maybe that time window that you're concerned about, maybe you can set that thing there.
The time window, in other wallet, they call it pending time. I don't know what you call that in GameChanger. So there is this time window, they call it pending. It is not inside the block. It's not registered. It's not it is not on ledger, but it is validated. Like there is a small window. They call it pending.
Okay, now I will double check this thing to get it right, because maybe I am not getting it perfect. But you have, I mean, on the Cardano specification, you have two times. The time where the transaction will be valid, I mean, from that time, that slot number, and the time where the transaction will actually not be able to be to get validated anymore.
Yeah.
You have that thing on the Cardano protocol specification, so you can play with that thing. But I mean, I'm not sure what you are saying, because when the transaction gets into the mempool, it means that the node has already validated, I guess.
No.
Otherwise, you will be spam. You will making a lot of spam.
The thing is, it will be validated by your node, not the blockchain. So once the second node will validate that, now we are talking about the ledger, everyone validated, and everyone's fine. So for example, in Eternal, if you create a transaction and if it goes to pending, suddenly you close that window. Most likely that transaction, although it is pending, although it is like everything's signed, no problem, but because you closed it for some reason, still I don't know, it won't submit it. So like the transaction never leave your wallet because you didn't wait until the pending goes to the a transaction history or something. So, or even in your system, you can test it. Like submit a transaction in a node, check that it is in your mempool, and suddenly just close the node.
That's the thing as a node operator. Like that's the only way you could reset is you would close your node and start it again, and you have to submit again the transaction.
Yeah.
The other option would be to have like a pipeline and really just submit it to the node later and have your own internal time system. The third option would be like you can, if you rewrite the code for the node, you could set what goes into a block, because a block has a size.
Exactly.
And then you could do this as a third, but that would be very complex. But
I wonder, wallet,
okay.
maybe I thought that maybe the protocols and the API for wallets provided this such tool that they can do something in the pending as well, like in this limbo space.
Not as I'm aware of in the direct.
No, I just asked, but so
I guess you have to have some control on the node, like he was saying. Yes, it's a nice thing to analyze. But yeah,
sure.
If it's possible on other wallets, maybe if they are doing something with their backends to make it happen or not.
I don't know if it's
on
possible.
the transaction level. Okay.
But I just saw that once your transaction is pending,
Yes.
You cannot be sure that the transaction really submitted. So you have to wait that pending goes to history. Like the pending doesn't mean it is submitted. Although it is validated, everything is fine. But so I don't know. Maybe there is some API or
Okay.
something involved. But the other thing that I want to point out regards to the using a string for numbers, guys, be careful. If you are going to use that, there will be a lot. I mean, there are already a lot of bugs and security concern because of people use 2 equal sign for this. You need to use 3 equal sign. So it's like a strict type for that. But just remember, like there is this 3 equal sign and 3 equal sign in JavaScript, which they have different. So if you are going to use a string, just be careful about that. Otherwise, some security bugs might happen. But again, thank you, Adrian. Thank you, everyone.
Perfect. Thanks. That's the last thing. Keep in mind that version 2 has this ability to, to set up all these transaction features by hand in absolute values without automating anything. So yeah, for anyone that wants to try some stuff around this. And the pending state on GameChanger is when Ocmius validates the transaction. If Ocmius is not rejecting it, you don't have this yellow pending state on GameChanger, and most likely you have an error there. But yeah, it was a nice idea to discuss. Thanks. Yeah, Martin, go on.
I've been uh-oh. Something's not right at the moment yet. I'm doing something wrong. But I've tried to set up the transaction right now. And as you can see, I created some logs. If you press F12, you can see what your browser is doing with the JavaScript. And I'm printing the code here. So this is what you see here. This code has 2 transactions, and one of them is the fake USD. So I will check now what is going wrong.
If you are on the right wallet with funds, or maybe you are missing fake USDs. And remember, I told you that fake USDs are minted using the user's own private keys. Meaning
I
that
think
everyone will have a different policy.
I think I have the wrong policy ID in this case.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to use the, I'm not sure. Well, let's check. Policy ID. Copy it. We go here.
This, by the way, is so cool to do live coding like this. So awesome.
I think it's the same. Yeah, it's the same.
Okay.
So that is not the issue. Something
And
else
the-
is the issue.
Yeah.
Let's just see what the transaction is. I will check it. Why can't I hear fake USD? I'll copy the link and then I go to my tool I like to use in together with GameChanger, but we can decrypt the file and then see what's going on.
If we switch to Broadly, is there an online tool to do this? You're going to miss this.
I will make it for you.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Can I do one more question? Man in the middle attack. can you do you need some form of Java token to protect the site, or can someone put a variable while you're submitting and change your transaction, basically? Or would that not be possible? I'm not so familiar with the security of it.
We can maybe add, there are, for example, on version 2, ways to even encrypt the parts of the code that you are sending, or maybe the entire code. So you can deal with more security on these payloads by doing some of that stuff. You, of course, this is of course an important thing to keep in mind, that you always have the ability to double check, to review the transaction. On version 1, you will be just mostly dealing with transactions to review. On version 2 is an entire DSL going packed inside these URLs, where you can encrypt parts and whatever. And there you can check. And even, for example, we could be adding some features to check the hashes of these scripts, and this, we can be discussing this a lot. There is a thing called on the new version. There is a feature that we have. There is a protocol actually that is a GameChanger file system protocol. You can store unlimited files on chain using your own cryptography, because it's like dealing with NFTs. Actually, are called disk NFTs, and there with that security, you can raise a lot your security by enforcing that the script that is being loaded on the wallet came directly from an on-chain data, under your own cryptography, under the issuer or the code maintainer cryptography. This is huge.
That's a really neat idea. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the the most nice features that this NFTs has, because upon this thing you can build, for example, DApps where you can actually trust and audit more the code, because it's on chain. And this model, keep in mind that it's an open model, an open DApp connector model. In version 2, every connection with the wallet can be open, forked. You can open, modify, or audit all this code. And if it is on-chain, stored there on-chain under the code maintainer cryptography, it's like an open and more secure environment. That's how we can deal with the thing that you're saying. Of course, you have to be compromised. At the DNS level, maybe to have a man-in-the-middle attack here. Last thing that worth mentioning is this is the URL transport for this DApp connector. We have just one transport now, maybe, that is this URL transport. In the future, we can add more, something closer to the CIP30, for example. So these are the building blocks for a different DApp connector, open and auditable. And in the future, we can maybe have different connection methods. So if you're worried about that, that can be dealt maybe even with another transport. But URLs are very needed. Look, this use case that we have here. It's only possible if you're dealing with URLs. You're having a DApp connector that works with QR codes. That was the goal of all this. Yep. Martin.
Hey, I've been in the meanwhile, I've been well, debugging the problem, and I did it times a million, and that was wrong. So
Okay.
should have been just a regular value. And well, in that case, you can just preview the transaction. And actually, I'm now sending it to the gift wallet I just created by copying that address. And here you can see, well, we entered the 2 IUSD and the 30 ADA. And that's in the wallet, including the fee, which we don't include in the transaction JSON at all, which we don't need because GameChanger handles all the UTXO and fee for us, which is nice. So I'm just going to send it now. Okay, I've just also looked up some metadata we can add. That's what your idea was, right, Adriano?
Cool. What were you adding?
I'm not sure if Nick has an idea about what kind of metadata he wants to add. You could, for example, if you have a point of sale system, export your, your receipt or the stuff you have got on there. I'm not sure if you want to, maybe you bought 3 coffee. I don't know what type. You could just add it in the message, like maybe you can export it from your point of sale system, and you can say you can add it in the message, like coffee latte macchiato 3 times. I'm not sure, but this will be something the customer gets into his transaction. So you could also maybe what's the exactly the best way to do this? Is this 1, 2, 3 the correct code you should use for this?
No, that was an example, Martin. The 1, 2, 3 was like
What would be the best way to do it with a receipt?
You can use maybe the CIP20 standard, and also if your own GameChanger or any other wallet wants to use the same standard, you can rely on the titles as well. If you want to keep it super simple, you can use the title of the transaction, and it's very graphical, very easy to. I mean, you can change the title of the transaction to.
So if we want to use SIP, and I'm just searching for the CIP Cardano, it's all hosted everywhere. It's just open standard. Everybody contributed something to it. And in this case, you need to do 674, right?
Yes, I didn't remember the number, but yes, if it's there, remember that you have to follow this object where you have the message property, and also to deal with arrays, to lists. Sorry, if you want to have long texts, you have to split those because maximum byte length is 64 for strings, for text on metadata.
So this is exactly what we want to do. CIP20 transaction messages and comment metadata. And well, we're not the first who were thinking about this. So this is like a message you could send. Maybe it's the invoice number, and the customer number could be exported from the point of sale system. It's something you just add.
Oh, that's cool.
And of course you could, like if you don't have your point of sale system integrated yet, you could also just, I'm not sure if probably need the brackets, but let's see later. But you could add fields, like if you have to do it manually, you could also add customer like numbers, but you could also maybe you could add VAT.
What if you added a unique a code that matched one of your inventory storage? So this way, even if there's a middleman attack, it would be impossible because you would have some inventory that will need to match your metadata of this your merchandise you're selling.
Yeah, of course.
Really cool.
If you have like a barcode scanner,
Exactly
you
like
could,
that.
you could yeah, but that's something maybe which would go through your point of sale system, where you have to export it or make a connection to this web page. So that is something, yeah, there's of course a lot of different types of point of sale systems and the way you should do it. But yeah, this way of connecting to it is very generic. So you could easily make this connection maybe for like a low code. It's a low code way of doing it. So you can probably keep it all in yeah, JavaScript and objects.
It's like a dream come true to me to see this. Like found one in Catalyst I suggested for like sari shops in Philippines. These are like local merchandise that they have like a small basic some sell out of their house or in very simple conditions, but everyone has a mobile phone there. And if you just can print out the QR codes and use the mobile instead of buying a cashier, that's so huge deal for these people. So I really like this. I'm a big fan of GameChanger now. After this, yeah.
Oh, it's good to hear.
Very nice. Hey, I am like all the time talking about this, but keep in mind that these scripts, even on version 1, version 2, it's much powerful. It's a DSL, a language on its own. But keep in mind that these are, as I like to say, wallet agnostic, meaning that you are making anonymous connections to the user wallets. You are not, you are not referring to a specific user to make a payment. You are creating a template for a payment that can be, like we were discussing, you can print actually this QR code, and that means that you can reuse the QR code on any other user wallet. This is the nice thing about this, to make an abstract, to deal on an abstract recipe instead of using the transaction seaboard hexadecimal, the low level Cardano language, for all this stuff. Make this like JSON based language to deal with Cardano stuff. Yeah,
so this can be submitted to Cardano CLI. It's basically creating the whole seaboard for a submission.
The seaboard is it's created on the user wallet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but this is the difference, and this is why it's a bit more safe. To deal with this information on the URLs. Okay, safe, not safe. It's more anonymous. I wanted to say, because you can actually have a DApp that knows nothing about its users through this technology. You can make users interact with DApps without a connection to make the DApp know who is connecting, and this has a huge anonymity implications. You can do a lot of different stuff here. Yeah, and one of those is printing the actual DApp connector, the actual DApp connection, printed statically for anyone to connect. This is very different from the current standards. Please follow all the other sessions, because we are mostly talking about version 2. That is a much powerful version than this one that works, that is nice, that the version 2 is it's another thing. So keep coming or stay close. We will be doing more sessions today, I guess. So yeah, or every week we do this session at the same time. Martin, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I was just doing the boring stuff in the background. That's good. So yeah, basically I'm copying this example here, but you can fill in your own stuff. I think it's good to, if somebody wrote a standard, to keep close to it. So you are of course free to fill in anything here, but yeah, it's better to not be too creative, I think. This will just be confusing for people. So I added the metadata here, which is here empty. So I've got here this template where I now have the option, like if I make this, it's a JavaScript object. So later when I'm going to fill in the values, I can access it and then fill in what I need to do in there. So I'm going to add this message, I think. Is this correct already?
Martin, last one. Put that you're buying a coffee, for example, on the title to explain how titles can help here in a very quick and easy way.
That's cool. Yeah, the title.
The last thing I will be saying, and I'm going to mute myself. Sorry.
So let's try this again. Should be okay. Buy some coffees in USD. Create a QR code. Save the image. Well, in this case, show the image to your customer. And then customer goes to his wallet. You can also see here that the previous transaction is confirmed. Smart scan it. And here you can see the title is now different. So you can put that, yeah, of course, the name of your shop here. And you can see here, we have now 10 USD and some ADA, including the transaction fee. And in the message, you can now see that there's some metadata to give your customer the ability to maybe import it into his bookkeeping or for your own verification. Of course, you have to check if the transaction has been processed. So you can see with this, if this message is in this list, you can check. And of course, if you put the barcode numbers of all the things you sold, you can double check if your inventory is correct as well. You could maybe also, if you have like a login system for your employees, you can also put maybe a code in here that you can check which employees did which transactions. So you can make like an indexer for your own shop where you can double check your inventory to the blockchain in that way. Just some ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, this is really cool.
But what's nice about GameChanger is that you're not locked into some big company. Like, if you want to do all Haskell shop integration with your point of sale system, maybe you do want some small quick changes. It is very easy to maybe do that stuff yourself. Right. Cool. 6 o'clock. Perfect.
Saved by the ring.
Yeah, man. I think we covered most of the stuff which you can do in this way for shops. I think it's a complete solution, and it's very convenient.
The last one, Martin, and first of all, I mean, thanks. This has been a nice session. He actually did it all on his own. So thanks, Martin. Awesome. And maybe you can show the people here how to quickly create an HTML file out of any code on the playground to get started, you know, very quickly on the playground.
Like
the nice thing about this code pen, of course, that you can modify, fork it, modify it, whatever. It's perfect because you have a lot of stuff already there working and nicely with even style. But if you are on the IDE, on the place where you code on the wallet, you can do what Martin is doing to generate automatically an HTML file, meaning a website, a web page, I mean, sorry, that already does the same, creates a link out of code for you. So if you deploy that thing, you copy and paste it and deploy it, you have a working tiny D app where you can start building from there. Or
Yeah,
you can create
I just
the
did that in
code.
I copied it, and then you get the web page which is generated by GameChanger.
Awesome.
But we added all some other stuff to make it yeah, a little more specific to a shop, coffee shop.
Exactly.
Or
What Martin's did was
this is
better.
this is just a link, but in this case we made QR codes for it.
Perfect. Thanks, Martin. Awesome.
Yeah, and I made a small device called the PayPad, and here you can automate it. So this is something you just plug in, which we just did. This will create this for you. So you just log into a web page, and this web page is run by this device, and also it allows your customer to have there's a touchpad on it, so you can enter. A customer can interact with the device and make his own QR code to do like a tip. So he can make his own, basically his own QR code to give you some money because he's very satisfied with the service.
That's super cool. Well, you've given me a lot to to look into, and I mean, this is really cool. I mean, I had looked into this like a little bit, a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh, this looks interesting, and yeah, I mean, just joining in a couple times, I mean, just seeing all the possibilities, like it's super cool and exciting, and I mean, thanks so much for doing all this and building this out. I mean, yeah, this looks awesome.
Yeah, it would be great, of course, if we could help you if you're interested in using it or maybe trying it. We can help you set it up, or you can just go to the code pen and try it yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're trying it, we would really like to hear your feedback, because there's always, of course, roadblocks maybe, or small bumps in the road where you think, oh, that could be better. Then we could improve it.
Yeah, I mean, normally on Tuesdays I have off, and I mean, I'm pretty busy all week, so and I mean, all this is pretty new. I mean, I don't really know too much of like the coding and stuff, but just kind of following along. I mean, it looks pretty looks pretty, simple to.
It is, yeah, it's not foolproof, but yeah, it's low code, so it's all in JavaScript and HTML, and you can search a lot of stuff on the internet how you should do it, and there's a lot of examples and a lot of good tools to make it easy for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like at some point when I have the time, I kind of want to make some of like the like those the what are they called, like the wallets that you kind of
Gift wallets.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
gift wallets, and because that seems like that combined with all this, like that'd be like the perfect type of setup. So I'd be curious to like try doing that, and just kind of from just kind of see how that works. And yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, and yeah, there's so much stuff coming in the Cardano ecosystem, like Hydra. Right now, payments take a little bit long. 20 seconds is maybe you have to change your cash register routine, maybe, to make sure people are not waiting. So you could maybe start a transaction and then you do your sales pitch about something else. I mean, but yeah, there's of course also Hydra. Maybe in the future we can make that quicker.
Yeah, I've been kind of reading a bit about Hydra and watching some things about it, and it sounds like a pretty kind of interesting thing with, some pretty specific use cases, but
yeah, it's not straightforward. Let's make it faster. That's the issue with it. So
yeah, thanks so much for doing all this, and I definitely plan on continuing to kind of join in on as much of these as I can, and I'm definitely gonna keep looking into the GameChanger wallet stuff, and I started looking into the Gimbal Labs website, and that looks really cool too. So yeah, I'm excited to just kind of keep reading and learning and watching videos. And
yeah, it was cool to have you here and yeah, get some feedback. So yeah, it's good to have the contact with the real world and seeing maybe all this cool technology getting some traction in doing stuff which is not virtual but in the real world.
yeah, definitely. Well, thanks so much.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you for coming, and thanks, Martin, once again.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah,
Also-
thanks for making a great wallet, Adriano.
Thanks. Thanks for making great hardware, Martin.
Yeah, we'll continue making it better.
We are on it. We are on it. Please keep an eye, a huge eye on version 2. It's as I said, it's a year ahead of what you're watching today here. So it's nice if you can also give us feedback there. We are making the final changes there, so we need your opinions, your feedback there to make it better, or maybe just to close the beta stage and leave it that way. So it's now or never, guys. Try to join this beta and test it, please, so we can make it better with your ideas also, if you want. And we will probably having now a live session in, I don't know what time exactly. Please stay tuned on the Twitter account of GameChanger. We will be notifying there. It will be probably on Twitch. And it's a very project-focused live session where we are actually doing a project there. So stay tuned. So thanks everyone, and well, can I stop the stream now? Any questions? Something? No.
Oh, this was
Okay.
great. I'm starting
Okay.
to learn coding again. I was a hobby coder in very long time ago, so it's cool to just look at JavaScript. So my perspective is as a node operator, so I'm fairly familiar with those parts. But very cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. Nice. Well, I cannot stop the live stream, so we have to end the call or keep. It's on you.
Okay, so we just have to quit it.
Yeah. Let's close this for today. Thanks, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.